Good evening and a very, very warm welcome to you. Thank you for joining the Football Out West show. It's going to be a big one. It's episode 99, folks, and after last week's massive bumper episode, we've got the three wise monkeys back together again. Craig, Filer, good evening to you. Welcome back to Victoria. How are you?
Yeah, very well, thanks, mate. Very well. Nice couple of days break up in sunny Queensland, early part of the week, and a very busy weekend. So, yeah, glad it's Sunday evening, back on here, and then off to regional Victoria for a couple of days tomorrow working. So, yeah.
Oh, sounds lovely.
Yeah. And a very good afternoon or good evening to you, Steve Curtin. Steve, how are you? How's things with you?
Yeah, good. Thanks, Tonci. I had a very rare weekend off commentary duties this weekend, which put me in such a spin. I ran the wrong way at Cross Country Club this morning, but all in all, it was a good weekend. I saw the great man Santino Mamone last night, and it's been a good weekend of postponed games, catch up games, catch up with your mates maybe, and of course a couple of big cup finals as well. So
How was Santino after his beloved Melbourne victory? Lost earlier in the week, Steve. Was he a bit distraught? Was he?
He's just looking for them to turn the key later in the season when they integrate Nani into their system.
Yeah, he needs to support another club, doesn't he? He's going to have a world of pain this year, isn't he?
Absolutely. Gents, we've got a massive show lined up tonight, but before we do go on about tonight's guests, Craig and Steve, firstly, a big shout out to our major sponsors this year, Caroline Springs George Cross Football Club. Big news from them. They are our major sponsor, home of the award-winning Georgie's on Vista Bistro. But big news, they're going up. George Cross Football Club has been promoted to NPL 3 after a 2-0 away win to FC Strathmore. This was on Friday night. Obviously, Craig, you're involved with Caroline Springs, and you were there as well. Mate, take us through Friday night and how it was. And I'm hearing that the ground was very, very boggy there at Strathnaber Reserve.
Yeah, look, it was, Tonci. It was touch and go, actually, whether the game was actually going to go ahead. But Georgia's were adamant, and the coaching staff and the players wanted to get the game done. Obviously, didn't want another postponement. And fair play to the referee. He called the game. Ante, the president of Strathmore, was out there with a fork trying to get rid of some of the lying water that was on the pitch. But look, it was playable. It wasn't the prettiest of game, but look, from a George's point of view, very professional performance on a difficult pitch, and ultimately they got the job done, which was important. You know, it's not about how you play football at this stage of the season. It's really about those 3 points, and that's exactly what they did. And you know, finally they've got their much deserved promotion. So very pleased for everybody at the club.
Well, later on, we're going to be going through all the results, the weekend roundup. There wasn't many games played, but the games that were played were very, very important in the greater scheme of things as far as promotion and relegation is concerned. Gents, we're going to be doing that a bit later on. But Craig, firstly, who are our big guests for tonight? And after last week's mammoth show, how can we ever top that?
Look, last week's show was fantastic, wasn't it? You know, the three big clubs, I suppose, from Victoria was and the views that we had were just amazing. So thanks to everybody that did tune in last week. But look, tonight we've obviously with the Dockerty Cup being played yesterday afternoon, we've got the jubilant head coach of Bentleigh Greens, NICK TOLIOS. He's going to be joining us to talk about not only the season they've had, but obviously the fantastic win that they had yesterday in the Dockerty Cup. We're then going to cross over to HANNA, who's the president of Upfield Soccer Club. Upfield Soccer Club.
This will be controversial, yes.
Yeah, I think it will be. I think he's gonna let loose. I think, and we're gonna sit back and enjoy the ride for 10 minutes as the club deducted 6 points recently for an infringement, which has caused a few problems. Then we're going to jump over to State League 3 Northwest and speak to. I've tried to get this guy on a number of times, and I think he's really shy. So we might have to get that out of him tonight. But Alan Muscat, well-known football personality around the grounds, he's done a fantastic job down there at little Altona North, and they've managed to get promotion up into State League 2 with a win yesterday at Heidelberg Eagles. And following that, we've got MARK TORCASO, who's the head coach of Western United Women's and Calder United, who have this afternoon defeated South Melbourne in the NICK FC Cup up there at Valley Stadium in Hume.
Yeah, we'll be going.
A great another group of lineup tonight. So really looking forward to the chats.
We have indeed. And next week is our 100th episode. We're still finalising the full details. Find out all about it during the week, folks. But it is going to be a live show. It is going to be a massive show. It's going to be a 2-hour special next week. Craig, do we say where it's going to be at the moment, or we're still finalising some last-minute kind of things? But I think most people.
No, look, there's still a few things to iron out, Tonci. Yes, but we've got some fantastic guests already confirmed, and we'll let you know.
We'll be announcing that during the week. Yeah, can't wait for that. But geez, some massive guests, Craig. Massive.
We'll do it at George Cross. They've been fantastic to us over the last 5 years, Tonci. It's fitting that we do our 100th show from George's on Vista next Sunday evening, Steve. So we've got a 2-hour show, but you better fuel up a little bit more next week, Steve.
Yeah.
And turn your mic.
And turn your mic on. That's the first thing.
We won't need to bring a bowl of food onto the set because the catering at that venue is absolutely first class at that venue, George's on Vista. And I can say that because I enjoyed a very fine meal there on Easter Saturday.
Very good. And I think, if anybody wants to come next week, Tonci, we'd love to see some of our listeners join us.
Correct. Stay tuned for that. Like, more details will come to hand. It'll be free entry. We won't be charging anything. We won't be charging a booking fee or anything like that. But do sort of pencil that in your diaries. Next Sunday night from 7 p.m. through to 9 p.m. a special extravaganza 2-hour show of the Football Outwear Show, our 100th episode. And as Craig said, he's let the cat out of the bag. It will be at George's on Vista on Sunday night. And if you aren't doing anything, do come down and be respectful while we are on air. But, we're going to encourage a live studio audience on that time. Huge stuff happening. And speaking of the George's on Vista, here's a couple of messages from our major sponsor. Don't go away. Straight after this, it's the NPL Victoria Roundup.
You find authentic Maltese cuisine? At George's on Vista, in the heart of Fraser Rise. We have a menu to suit everyone, which includes kids and seniors meals, and a cocktail list that will need you to come back several times to get through. Our specialty nights are a big hit. Tuesday is $20 Palmer night with a selection of Palmers to choose from. Kids eat free Wednesday night. With every paid adult meal, you get one free kids meal. Thursday is Maltese night. Check out the Maltese specials on our specials board. And Friday night we have happy hour between 5:30 to 6:30 p.m. Be sure to book your table to avoid disappointment. Bookings can be made via our website, georgesonvista.com.au. See you at George's on Vista. You'll find us at Caroline Springs, George Cross.
Welcome back to the Football Outwear Show, episode 99. Steve, let's talk about the first of all, let's talk about the catch-up round in the NPL. Victoria competition, 2 games played over the weekend.
Yeah, a couple of games on Friday night, and it was funny because I was looking out my window on Friday evening, this match to be replayed at Knight Stadium between the Knights and Green Gully. Of course, it was postponed after some heavy rain only a few weeks ago. I think Lockie Flanagan blaming himself, one of our FV commentators blaming himself for these games being postponed. He seems to be the person who's the common denominator, but there is Murnane opening the scoring, and good performance from the Knights with 2 first half goals, Jan Albano scoring the other one. So the Knights, I guess that they don't really have any pressure on them anymore. They've, had a change of coach, and it was a Green Gully defence that was out without the young star central defender James Doyle, who had I think he had a bit of a head knock in the previous game late on against Heidelberg, so he was not risked. And so Green Gully, not the result they wanted. They still find themselves in the top 6. St Albans really wanted to get this win, and they got this early goal. Michael Gergic, the captain, claiming this one from close range, jumping over the top of the Greens keeper, and then they returned the favour, Eastern Lions, at the same end in the second half. So that was definitely the scoring end there, the right of screen. Eastern Lions get a point there. I think that's a point a couple of weeks in a row for them too. So well done to the Lions for fighting on there. But yeah, it leaves the St Albans Saints in 2 games ago a slightly precarious position.
Yeah, we were speaking about that a couple of weeks ago, weren't we? That they need a win. And I think against Eastern Lions, everybody thought that home result, home pitch would have got them the win, but they didn't. And like you said, Steve, they're really in trouble there. And obviously Hume City earlier on in the week as well, Friday, I believe, that Goran Lozanovsky, the head coach of Hume City, was left his post up there at Hume. So interesting times in the bottom there of NPL for sure.
Well, let's look forward to next weekend, or, one weekend's gone and we're already looking forward to next weekend. The games being played. A doozy of a game at Knight Stadium on Friday night, Steve. Melbourne Knights hosting Altona Magic.
Yeah, should be a good match. I mean, these teams don't have a lot to play for, I suppose, so it might be an open and free-flowing game. And hopefully, I haven't checked the forecast, but hopefully it's not a wet Friday afternoon and we see any issues with the pitch being too heavy. Green Gully, they'll be fancying themselves to get the 3 points on home turf against the Eastern Lions, so they'll be hoping to bounce back and consolidate their top 6 spot. This game is a beauty on Friday night, the Bentleigh Greens and Port Melbourne, so that's 5th versus 3rd.
Oh, wow.
That is an absolute rip snorter. That's the later kickoff time, 8:30 down at Kingston Heath. So that one's going to be interesting. South Melbourne against Dandenong City. South Melbourne looking to seal the title. Dandenong City looking for survival. So lots to play for in these sorts of games. And then Hume City, Dandenong Thunder at Valley Park Event Centre. So that game's got a lot riding on it too. Obviously, we don't need to say that. St Albans Saints on Sunday. Welcome the Oakley Cannons. Again, both sides have got something to play for there, and Heidelberg and Avondale is a great fixture because they find themselves in 6th and 7th. So they're going to fight it out for a spot in the finals. Some really good fixtures with lots riding on them this weekend, guys. So I'm not sure what your pick of them is, but looking forward to a really exciting penultimate round of the NPL Victoria men's NPL 1.
Craig, you've got some information about Hume City and a new coach there. You've mentioned that Goran Lozanovsky's no longer there, and that's crucial. Like at the moment, it's between Hume City and Dandenong City for that last relegation spot. What have you found out?
Yeah, look, and I haven't. I've heard it. I have had it confirmed that he's no longer at this post. I spoke to Goran on Friday evening, and he's obviously disappointed that his role has come to an end there so quickly. 4 or 5 games in, and there's not a lot you can do in 4 or 5 games. But I understand that the ex Western United defender Ersan Gullam's going to be coming in there to take over. So I don't know whether that's a bit of a managerial change, given the fact that they want a response from the players with just 2 games left. That may be the reason for it. New coach in, let's see. But it's a strange decision. But they're obviously made that, and good luck to them.
Well, doesn't it make that in between Hume City and the Thunder at Broadmeadows this Saturday night a very interesting proposition now? Not that it wasn't already, but wowee.
Yeah.
No, even more so. Yeah.
Yeah, the joys of football management, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah, it wouldn't be a coach for quids, mate. That's it.
Well, yeah. That last round, Hume City are away to Oakley Cannons. Dandenong City home to Bentleigh Greens. So look, it's going to be very, very interesting. I tell you what, the next couple of weeks. Now, speaking of the Bentleigh Greens, we've got the coach of the Bentleigh Greens who's joining us, the victorious Bentleigh Greens who defeated Oakley Cannons 2-1 in the Dockerty Cup. It's a very, very warm welcome to NICK TOLIOS. Nick, thank you very much for joining us here on the Football Out West show. No, we've got audio problems now. We've got visual, but we don't have any audio. It's just hello, you there?
No.
No. Okay. What we're going to do is we're going to keep on talking about the Dockerty Cup. Did either of you guys take this game in? Did either of you watch the match? It's a good one, actually.
No, unfortunately for me, I didn't. Tonci, I was out yesterday afternoon or late yesterday afternoon in the city, so I didn't watch it. But I caught up with the highlights of it today, and from what I saw, it seemed to be a very.
Yep. What was that?
No, can't hear you, mate.
No.
Keep trying.
No,
maybe log off and
not country. Yeah, that might be the option. Yeah, that might be the case to do it. Yeah.
Very, very open game. Tonci. Oakley scored. Joe Guest, having missed a chance earlier on in the game, scored after 48 minutes. As we were saying earlier on, Steve, it was a bit of a calamity in the box there. Tried a bit of an air shot to try to clear it. It fell to Joe Guest at the edge of the box, and he rifled it home on 48 minutes. And there was a bit of pressure on then, and Bentleigh scored, I think, 78 minutes, and they got the winner with Mustafi on 88 minutes to send the crowd. Well, now is he with us? No.
He can hear us. We just can't hear him. Unfortunately.
Oh, you can definitely hear us. Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's the
so
only
we
problem.
may need to try either a different web browser or a different device, and that might be the thing that saves us. Perhaps we can try that. But what a comeback and what a thrilling finish in this game. Sometimes you think that these finals are not the best match to watch. They're not a lot to them. There can be a bit one-sided, a bit boring, maybe a little bit defensive. This game. What a thrilling finish. Both goals were fairly similar as well. Down the Bentleigh Greens coming in the left-hand side, loose ball in the box. Tom Strickland, his finish was excellent, and Yaqub Mustafa's finish was we can say it was a clutch finish as well on 88 minutes. And then, it's just good news for the Bentleigh Greens. They've had a really busy schedule. I mean, obviously Oakley have too, but Nick seems to rotate a really good group of players. Everyone seems to be in good spirits, and that the team camaraderie seems to be what's getting them through at the moment. And from what I'm hearing at training, everyone is really turning up and pushing hard and setting the standard. And that's what you need this time of year when players are getting tired and weary, but there's a lot to play for at the moment in numerous competitions. So well done.
It's such a prestigious tournament. It's been going for so long, but I guess now the next thing to look for is the top 6 final series. It's 2 more games to go. There's still a lot to play there for. I tell you what, Bentleigh Greens. It's close. I mean, they're on 39 points there, and they're about 2 points ahead of Avondale. And look, anything can happen. Anything can happen in the sense that. A bad result in the next round or two, and you quickly jump out of that top 6 position, if you like. I think we've got Nick back. Have we got Nick?
It sounds like we might. Hello, Nick.
Is that better?
Oh, that's better.
Yeah, perfect.
We've got him on.
That is spot on.
Yes. Mate, good to have you on the show. We're just talking about Bentleigh Greens, obviously. And first of all, congratulations on winning the Dockerty Cup. It is, after all, a very, very prestigious tournament on the Victorian football calendar. But now, I guess, and we'll talk about the Dockerty Cup, but before we do that, the attention now turns to the top 6 as well, and how precariously placed, if we look at that ladder again, the teams from, I guess, all the way from Bentleigh Greens, Heidelberg United, Avondale, even Dandenong Thunder with a good result or two could slip in. It's pretty tight there in the middle of the table, isn't it? Very congested.
Yeah, it is. Look, it's we've got a lot of work to do still with the last two games. Still got a chance, depending on how results go, to finish second and have that first week as a bye. Port Melbourne's going to be a massive challenge, especially at home. But for me, I think they're the one of most. All their players are fit and firing. A couple of suspensions at the moment, but I think had an amazing job with them this year. And I said at the start of the year, I thought Port Melbourne probably be.
What was that?
No,
just
we can hear you. You're okay. Carry on, mate.
Yeah. So look. So we're excited, but we've got a big game to tackle Port Melbourne. So we're trying to make sure that we're ready and get ready for the Sydney FC.
Steve?
Yeah. And Nick, just on that as well, great performance, great result by the boys in the end to get the result in the first round of 32 game after 120 minutes. But you've been drawn against Sydney FC. Fortunately, it's at home. How do you feel about the quick turnaround to get ready for that? It's just frenetic at the moment. It's absolutely insane. You wouldn't have time to do any training or anything.
No, not really. Everything we're doing at the moment is purely about recovering and getting the boys up and about. An ideal, obviously, the game being brought forward. I guess, that's what we have to do. For Channel 10, made the call there. But look, for us, it's an amazing opportunity to have one of the strongest to our venue and have a crack at them, I guess. That's all we can really do. And I'm sure we'll put on a good show as possible. And like everyone keeps saying, there's always, in cup games, anything can happen.
Well, talking of cup games, that is exactly what happened yesterday. Last time Bentleigh Greens were in the grand final, I believe you were in the commentary box, weren't you? So it was a little bit different now, standing in the technical area. But how did you see the game yesterday? Obviously, the boys came back or came good in the end. But how did you see the game?
No, look, both teams were a bit tentative at the start. Cup final, I think it was quite sting. Oakley had an early chance. Joey Guest, Pierce Clark saved. I think we then started to get on top towards the end of the first half. Had a chance just before half time, but we came out in the second half and Oakley positively, and we conceded the goal. Obviously, you saw Joey Guest's quality first time finish there in the back line by us, but the character we showed to get back into the game, I knew we still will probably change the way we played a little bit just to try and a little bit more than what we were doing in the first 30, 40 minutes of that second half. So it worked out, and Mustafa Yaqub came on and changed the game for us.
Great finish.
Yeah, Nick, now Steve mentioned how it's quite a hectic period at the moment. It really is. The Dockerty Cup, you throw in the Australia Cup, you throw in the NPL and the top 6 series as well. Off the field, as far as that is, like we know, Bentleigh Greens is a big club, a real heavy hitter here in Victorian football. But with this success that has come with this season, has that sort of translated into a real euphoric feeling off the field with the club, with the sponsors, with members, juniors, etc., supporters, etc.? What's the feeling at the moment at Bentleigh Greens off the field?
Oh, look, it's positive. There's real buzz, obviously, because we got Sydney FC coming down on Wednesday night, but tonight at the ground there was a lot of families there, a lot of juniors support, and it was fantastic for us as players and coaches. I think having the support of the entire club, plays a big, massive role in last night as well. But the support around the club is fantastic. Look, they've got a culture there. If you come to Bentleigh, you've got to be prepared to knuckle down, work hard, and keep that tradition. They've worked extremely hard to do over the last 10 years.
Beautiful.
And
Great
after
stuff.
the game last night, Nick, was there an opportunity to sit back and take it in and celebrate the moment that you had won a really significant piece of silverware that dates back, over 100 years and to the club? And did the players enjoy the evening, or was it sort of like focus on recovery, get ready for Sydney FC? Oh, we've lost sound again.
Looks like we've lost sound here. Looks like there's a little bit of bad.
I'm going to give him a quick call now, and we'll get him on I'll get him on an audio. So just give us a couple.
Looks like there's a bit of a bad reaction there as far as bad internet reaction. Let's have a look, mate. Steve's he's hopefully trying to come back. Hello, Nick. We got you back?
Yeah, I'm not sure what happened.
Oh, that's a bit better.
Ah, good.
Yeah.
So just for celebrations after the game.
It's a celebrate. Some of the players went one of the players' houses, and they had a couple of quiet drinks. Obviously, important Wednesday night is, and the coaches and the committee back to the club just had a feed together and had a couple of glasses of red and took a lot of photos because, like you said, that is over 100 years worth of history. Enough. I've actually got it at home, so I'm lucky enough to have it here with wife, and the kids were pretty rapt to see it when it.
Were the kids up when you got in last night, and was the missus happy you got home? Because when I spoke to you yesterday morning, she was saying that you're definitely coming home. Whatever happens, you're coming home. So
No, I did come home. I came home late, and I was a little bit. I wanted to wake them up to show them, and she goes, "Don't you?" Because I had golf planned today, so I had a golf went to. So she goes, "I'm stuck with the kids all day." No, they were wrapped. Look, it's for the club again. I think that's their third win, and has been the captain 3 years, three times we have won it. So it's an amazing achievement.
Yeah, fantastic. Mate, it's going to be a huge week for Bentleigh Greens, a huge next couple of weeks, in fact, for Bentleigh Greens. Thank you for joining us on the show tonight. Our 99th episode, we've had some very, very illustrious guests over those 99 episodes, and you're one of those now, Nick. So thank you for joining us on the show tonight. Wishing you all the best for the rest of this year. And, once it's all finished, put your feet up and enjoy a nice glass of red that you so richly deserve. Well done to you this year.
Cheap job. Well done. Thank you.
well done. Thanks, Nick. All the best.
Nick, and
Cheers,
congrats.
NICK TOLIOS, apologies for that. Seems to we have. Tell you, Australia, third
Little bit of
world when
bad
it
luck
comes to
there.
internet.
Yeah.
Absolutely a disaster. Oh, God, Steve, we had a shocking episode last week on the Geelong Region Soccer Show when we were having one of the state's, one of the most exciting young junior prospects, Oscar Tanic. And we could get the visual, we just couldn't get the audio. And then, but anyway, we've rectified that. And young Oscar Tanic, who has been identified as one of the top 40 junior prospects in Victoria, he will be on the show tomorrow. He's currently with Melbourne Victory, but an old Geelong Soccer Club junior. That is going to be coming up tomorrow on the Geelong Region Soccer Show. Gents, we're going to take a quick break. Mortgages are increasing constantly. The interest rates are going up. So now probably is the best time to start talking to a good mortgage broker who will find you the best deal. And the best around is Guzman Finance. Give Andreas a call and tell him the Football Out West Show sent you. Guys, don't go away. We're going to be back with NPL 2 and NPL 3.
Guzman Finance, Point Cook's professional and trusted mortgage broker. Using the latest technology powered by Australian Finance Group, their lender panel has over 30 institutions, including the major banks. Whether you're in the market for your first home, refinancing, renovating, or buying an investment property, contact Andreas on 0425 826 055 or visit their website at guzmanfinance.smartonline.com.au.
Welcome back to the Football Out West Show, and we seem to have lost Steve. Was that a bit of a toilet
Geez,
stop,
that was a
Mr.
short
Kern?
commercial break, that one from Guzman. He could maybe stretch that out a bit longer, I think.
It's not quantity, it's quality that counts.
That's
Stephen,
right.
it's quality.
Well said.
The thing is, they won't see that on the podcast, Steve, so you're all good, mate.
Yeah.
There we go. Yeah, we'll have that edited out of the podcast anyway. So.
Well, back to the Football Out West show. A big shout out to our sponsors, Caroline Springs, George Cross, the major sponsor, but also to Guzman Finance as well, and to all of the clubs that have sponsored us all year, and to all of the businesses that have supported us all year as well. If you'd like your club to be featured in an upcoming episode of the Football Out West show in our Club in Focus segment, contact us at footballoutwest@gmail.com. That's footballoutwest@gmail.com, or drop any one of us a private message if you know any one of us, Steve, Craig, or myself, and we'll organise it for you. Now, gents, let's move on to NPL 2 first of all. We've got some footage here of the game last Monday night, Craig, between Pascoe Vale and Bulleen.
Yeah, what a game it was.
What a match this was. Yeah.
If you've not had a chance to watch it, get onto NPL.tv and watch the game. It's a fantastic game of football from start to finish. Two teams vying for that all important top two spot in NPLT, which, as we know, is very compact, to say the least, with four teams still vying for those positions with just two games to go. But this was a cracking game. Bulleen took an early lead, and Pascoe Vale came back into it, as you saw there, then took another lead. Bulleen came back, and then it was just two ebb and flow from start to finish. It really was a fantastic game of football. A credit to NPL 2, because you've got two very, very good footballing sides. And great entertainment, but it just has a great finish, that, isn't it? That's for the winner there. But yeah, look, great performance. Keeps Pascoe Vale in position there in third place on 41 points. North Geelong still on top with 45. Moreland City on 43 after their performance against Werribee yesterday. But it's very tight there at the top, isn't it?
Oh, so much so. It's
this is going to be
amazing last 2 weeks, isn't it?
It certainly is, Steve.
Yeah, absolutely. This week there's some big up.
Yeah, I was
going to say, gents, Pascoe.
You're freezing there, mate. So.
Cutting out bad.
We've got a little delay.
Am I?
Yeah, we've got a big round 21 though. Look at Pascoe Vale and Moreland City on Friday night at CB Smith. There's going to be a huge crowd at this game, I figure. It's going to be.
Yeah, hopefully, I might even try and get on that one myself, Steve, as one of the commentators, if you're available, because that's going to be a fantastic game of football.
Absolutely, it's going to be a beauty.
And then you've got North Geelong taking the Bulleen Lions as well. So, Pascoe Vale, North Geelong, Bulleen Lions, and Manningham, who are in a bit of form at the moment with Brunswick Juventus. So, plenty of twists and turns, I think, in this league. Yes, Tom.
Three key games, as you said. Pascoe Vale taking on Moreland City, the battle for second spot there. North Geelong Warriors, they need a victory against Bulleen Lions to secure promotion to the NPL next year. Manningham United hosting Brunswick Juventus. Now, this is going to be a really good game because Brunswick Juventus are ready to jump in should either of those two teams above them, falter or whatever. But yeah, look, this was a really, really interesting game. I think a lot is going to. Now, the big one is at the in round 26, in 2 weeks' time. Moreland City hosts North Geelong, so that could also come down to being a game where the championship is going to be decided. So, look, so much to play for in NPL 2. It's ridiculous. Really, really riveting stuff over the next 2 weeks. Let's turn out.
Exactly what you want, Tonci, isn't it? In football is to have, you want these 3, 4, 5 teams all vying for those two spots. And, it's going to come down to probably the last game of the season. for that second place, potentially the top two. So yeah, keep your eyes peeled on NPL2 over the next couple.
It's just that competitiveness that gets the best out of everyone, and that's what we're seeing. Like that match on Monday night at the Veneto Club would have been fantastic to have been there, and these top four teams and some of the teams below them are really getting the best out of each other, and it's great to see, and more of it. I say,
yeah, absolutely.
And I can tell you, North Geelong have been really, really struggling in the last 3-4 weeks. They are very nervous. They're getting very nervous, getting very frustrated. So it's not a given that they have taken out that title. That game against Bulleen is what they call a 6-pointer. In every sense of the word, is absolutely important. Let's turn our attention, gents, now to NPL Division 3. Well, this has already been sorted, more or less. The top two anyway. But look, there's still a little bit of a fight happening for positions 3 and 4. Remember, third and fourth place teams here, they will take on the 11th and 12th position teams in NPL2 in a playoff and a promotion playoff. Craig, take us through NPL3.
Yeah, we're just going into that into those playoff there. You say Melbourne Victory and Western United potentially are going to be playing up against Golden Valley Suns and Werribee City. So, on current performance, I suppose, if you look at it, both teams will feel unfortunate that they haven't made the top two in NPL3, but the standard of those top two teams is fantastic. So, if it does go down to those last two, which actually I'm just looking at the table here, it actually could be one of 3 play teams, couldn't it? It could be Werribee City, Kingston City, two of them on 18 points, one on 19 points. So it's going to be very difficult in the bottom of that NPL2 over the next couple of weeks. But yeah, as you said, Tonci, NPL3, Preston Lions and Melbourne City, both promoted now, and as you say, Melbourne Victory and Western United. And Nunawading City potentially still got an opportunity to get fourth place, haven't they?
Absolutely.
Michael Long's team. Michael, if you're listening to this, how is Nunawading City going? Can they make it? And if they do, they may have to dispose of Michael Long's second favourite club, Western United. Oh, lots of torn. What's the word?
Nightmare for Michael Long, I think, in this situation.
Yes, absolutely.
He's going to be playing this Saturday at Marnie's Reserve, so it's a chance for them to get the points and keep the pressure on those two teams in third and fourth, the two A-League academy sides. So, wow, look out. And a couple of big games for them, because the Eagles are hosting Western United this weekend. That's a really big fixture. And Melbourne Victory, they're travelling down to Stead Park, and Geelong's in a little bit of form as well, so that won't be an easy fixture either.
No, I went to that game last night, the catch-up round between Geelong and Springvale White Eagles at Stead Park. Geelong absolutely destroyed Springvale 4-0. And look, the White Eagles, you would really have mistaken them for a team that is fighting for survival in the NPL competition. They really did not look very interested at all. They just struggled. Geelong tore them to shreds. It really was a very convincing performance by the Lions. And Jake Butler, the Geelong coach, was lamenting the fact after the game that it's almost taken to the end of the season for them to really click and start playing the way he wanted them to play. But nonetheless, he wasn't taking anything away from that performance. A 4-0 win by Geelong. So Springvale White Eagles, look, unless something drastic happens and that they can pick up, all they need is a point to overtake Ballarat City. But the way
Ballarat's
they
got Preston this week, so yeah.
Yeah, so anything's possible there. But White Eagles are away to Whittlesea Rangers. Then I think they play Melbourne City in the final game. So
a winnable game and a tough
point.
Yeah,
if ever they're going to get a point, it's this game against Whittlesea Rangers at Epping Stadium on Saturday.
Yeah.
Craig, how do you see State NPL3? It's an interest. This is the competition that Caroline Springs George Cross will be playing in next year.
Yeah, they will be, Steve. Tonci, you're correct. It's one of two of 3 teams. Then obviously Whittlesea have already gone. As you said, Springvale must get a win at Whittlesea on Saturday, otherwise they are in big trouble. But you can't see Preston Lions slipping up at home to Ballarat on Saturday evening, can you? So that's probably, and then it's going to go down to the last game in this division as well. But yeah, looking forward to being in that league next year.
Fantastic. Now, after the break, we're going to have the president of Upfield Football Club, WALID, HANNA, coming on. He's going to be talking about a very, very controversial, a controversial set of circumstances that saw his club have 6 points deducted. There definitely is a flaw in the system, in the transfer system, and we'll be exploring that after this break. We do ask, though, all viewers to be respectful and courteous, and not to please not to swear. That we had that a couple of cases last week. We will immediately ban anyone who does that. We're going to take a break, and then we're going to get to the president of Upfield. We'll also have a quick look at State League 1 as well, because that's another interesting competition as well after the break. Don't go away, folks. It's the Football Out West Show, episode 99 that you are tuning into.
George's on Vista is in the heart of Fraser Rise. You'll find us at Caroline Springs George Cross. Looking for a bit of fun with your meals? Tuesday night is bingo night. Bingo books are $2, eyes down at $7. And we have a special bingo menu for you to choose from, so be sure to get in early and grab a bite to eat beforehand. Friday night is poker night. Registration is from 6:30pm, with poker starting at 7:30pm. Why not join us beforehand for happy hour? Kicks off at 5:30. We're also on Uber Eats, so you can enjoy your favourite Georgie's meals in the comfort of your own home. Find us on the app. Dining in? Be sure to book your table to avoid disappointment. Bookings can be made via our website, georgiesonvista.com.au.
Sport requires effort, sweat and strong will, and Macron knows it. A leading global company with Italian DNA in the production and sale of sportswear, when Macron first entered the sports world in 1971, it was a small yet strong player. Since then, Macron has been growing at a very fast pace, supporting teams, sportsmen and women at all levels, working hard to supply them with the best technical products to help improve their performances. With over 4 million pieces of stock available in our Italian warehouse and an extensive range of on-field, off-field and free-time products, we cater for everyone from amateurs to professional sporting organisations, even referees. Ranked third most prominent football brand by the UEFA, Macron keeps expanding its presence worldwide, including Australia, where we are currently proud partners of Perth Glory, Macarthur FC, Port Adelaide and Parramatta Eels, and more to come. Work hard, play harder, Macron, your next teamwear partner. For more information, visit our website at www.macronvic.com.au or call us on 1800 Macron.
Welcome back to the Football Out West Show, and it is time now to take a look at the state leagues. And first of all, let's go State League 1. And Caroline Springs, as we mentioned, promoted to NPL 3 competition next year, I should say. Great win there over Strathmore. Craig, take us through the State League 1 competition.
Yeah, it's as we've said many times, it's a very very tough league from top to bottom with some fantastic football sides in there. As you see, Caroline Springs, George Cross promoted, but the battle for second place and the second automatic spot is really up for grabs. Sydenham Park with a game in hand against Strathmore. Sat on 37 points. So Essendon Royals, who are obviously in the box seat at the moment, on 44 points. To be honest, I can't see Essendon Royals slipping up between now and the end of the season, boys. But I think it will be Caroline Springs and Essendon Royals. But at the other end of the table, huge game next Saturday for Strathmore as they entertain FC Clifton Hills up there as Strathmore.
Oh, wow.
If there ever is,
that's drama
in football, if there ever is a game that you have to win, it's that one, because if they don't, I fear that certainly one of those teams are definitely going to get relegated. So big game for both clubs.
Steve, we talk about promotion. We talk about the clubs getting promotion and how much is at stake and that. But now Craig's just talked about a game that has got just as much significance, just as much importance, survival against relegation. What's your take on this game? What can you see eventuating at Strathnaver Reserve next Saturday?
I can see a dour contest, Tonci. Teams do not want to lose this game. They are not going to be throwing men forward willy-nilly in this game. It's going to be maybe only an error that might separate the two teams. If not, it could end up being perhaps a 1-1 or even maybe even a 0-0. But I think there's goals in the game. And, well, I don't know, does the home ground advantage count maybe a little bit for FC Clifton Hill, perhaps?
Probably not, Steve, I'm honest, because both pitches are as bad as one another. If I'm honest, we were at Clifton Hills just a couple of weeks ago, and that was a quagmire. So I think the pitch will be a leveler. I think that.
Oh, sorry, it's at Strathmore. Yes, sorry.
Strathmore. Yeah.
I think that game is about
Reserve. When is the catch-up game between Strathmore?
Oh, that's a good question.
When are they going to squeeze that in?
I'm sure it's Tuesday, or if it's not Tuesday, the following Tuesday. It's certainly a midweek game. But like I said, that game there, it's not a football game, as you said, Steve. It won't be pretty. It's about which team wants it more and which team want to give everything for the shirt to stay in that league. Because you talk about promotion, and as you said there, Tonci, the clubs that get promoted, but the clubs that get relegated, it's tough. To go out the following season, try and attract players, it becomes very, very difficult. We know Strathmore are going to have a big upsurge in their ground facility next year. The government there, Moonee Valley, are said to be putting in over $1 million worth of work on the pitch, which they need.
Is much needed.
I think it'll cost more than $1 million, but they need it. But yeah, look, you don't want to be at any level of football. You don't want to be relegated because the consequences of that, as we know, are dramatic. If we look at George Cross for the last number of years, and they've been out of the NPL structure for a fair number of years now, and it's very difficult to get back up.
Yeah. Now, this is an interesting thing. If anyone knows, is it going to be this week or next week the catch-up game? Because I guess if it's this week,
I think it has to be this week.
Well, Strathmore won't their players be pretty tired going into the Clifton Hill game? This will be a massive, massive week for Mickey Chelina's boys. I tell you what, they don't get bigger than this. But if it is this week, they're basically going to be playing 3 games in a week's time. Craig, is that going to make a difference?
Yeah, and all of them on their pitch, Tonci.
Which is very heavy, as you said.
Does it wear the pitch out?
It's not, Steve. It's because it's nothing there anyway. So
it's already worn out.
It's a tough 7 days for Mickey Chelina and Strathmore, and I can tell you categorically that they're focused 100% on next Saturday's game, and that's the game that matters. Sydenham doesn't really matter to a point. They win or lose that one. It doesn't really matter. It's going to come down to that game with FC Clifton Hills for whether they survive or not.
Yeah. All right. Well, it's time to look at State 2, and if we look at State 2, we're going to also bring up the ladder there as well on the weekend. Steve, a very, very important game that was played between Upfield and Westgate. The outcome of that result saw Upfield jump back into top spot. What was the score then? And
2-1.
2-1, was it?
2-1.
Yeah, well, let's talk about that game with the president of Upfield, who has got a lot to talk about, a lot to get off his chest. WALID HANNA is the president there, and it's a very, very big warm welcome to you, Wally, from all of us here at the Football Hour Show. Thank you for joining us, and mate, what an eventful last couple of months it has been. Let's start from the start. What happened that saw your club get 6 points deducted?
Thank you, guys. Thanks to Football Out West for inviting me tonight to talk about what happened the last few weeks, and also we're back on top now after winning last Friday, so that gives us a bit of relief. But let's talk about the 6 point deduction that's been, out there the rumors were whether it was 12 points. Some people were saying 18 points. Some people said no points. But I'll say the story again from where it happens. We had a player come in April, to trial with us, and we said yes, we'll sign you. We asked him if he had played anywhere this year. He said no, and so we registered him according to his ID. He went ahead. Then I do the registration for all the seniors, because our club has a lot of foreigners, and I do want to be on top of that. So I transfer a lot of players from overseas to our club, registering players always from South America, Division 3, from Europe, Division 3. So we require ITC, and I'm always on top of these things. So registering a local player, that's the easiest thing I have been doing. So when I know the information, the correct information about the player, I usually do and follow the process. So I registered this player, we cleared him. So I called up FFA the next day to ask if this is his first registration for this year, for this season, because I know FFV was short-staffed. They never pick up their phone. They take their time with replying to emails. So the best system is the FFA, because they got the overriding of the playfootball.com.au, and they've done a lot of quick registration for us in the last few years, and that's the actual best option, to call up FFA and they'll do a quick registration for you, or transfer or de-registration. So I've called up and I said, is this the first time this player is registered? Yes. They looked up the data. They said yes, according to what he's put in. And I said, well, that's come from his ID. And then the guy was fielded, was actually listed on the team sheet for 6 games. And then 9th of June, we get a phone call from FFV saying there is this, that, there is a player that's got double registration. So I said, which player? They tell me the name, and I said, it can't be, because I've actually registered him according to his ID. He didn't pop up. They said, well, he's got a registration somewhere else with the middle name attached to his surname. So I said, but that's not on his ID, on his license. So they sent me the email. I said, well, we'll reply back to you. So we had a club meeting. We said, look, to tackle this, let's go legally about it. So we got a lawyer that we know. We showed them the rules of competition. We went all of that. We gave all the evidence. The player had to give statutory declaration, ourselves, the coaches. We got them all the documentation they wanted. And we said, all right, well, we've provided everything. We've done everything. We've read the rules. We've made the courtesy to call FFA and find out if the player was, and I had to give him a phone log of my phone calls to FFA. We've submitted everything, and I ended up calling FFA the next day, or multiple times, to ask the same question, if this player was their first time registered. They said, yes, it was. This is not even FFA not knowing this. So I said, this is not right. Find out this ID somewhere else. I gave him the ID, the previous ID of this player, which he was registered. This was already supplied by the FFV to me as part of this investigation. So they looked it up. They said, oh, this player is registered somewhere else, but he's got a middle name attached to his surname. I said, how am I supposed to find that? I mean, where did this middle name? They said, well, we don't know, but he's got the same date of birth, same first name, but his surname and middle name are merged. So I said, well, now we get investigated for this. They said, well, you take that with FV. I mean, this is, we are just a registrar. We overlook the system. So I took, this proves to me that this could have happened to any club. Any player could come from anywhere. It doesn't have to be from Victoria. Could come from Sydney, Tasmania, and he could say, I haven't played anywhere. But what we actually said with the player, and he said, look, I'll play the cup game 20 minutes in March. And I thought this cup game was not linked to state. That's when you guys asked me, I said, I haven't played anywhere this year. We knew he played for the previous club last year, but every year the registration system resets itself. So, and he provided his email, and we registered him correctly. And we kept calling the FFV. We said, hey, this is what happened. Why wasn't this? Why we were not informed after 6 weeks? Why this player was listed 6 weeks and we didn't know about it, that he was ineligible to play? Why did it come so late? Why were we're not notified about it after first game or second game? They said, well, we didn't know about it. We don't do auditing to the system. Clubs have brought it forward to us. So that's when we felt there is obviously a collective effort of clubs in our league trying to bring us down, and obviously us being on top of the ladder by 7 points with the game in hand, have not lost a game. That would benefit the clubs in our league. So the FFV didn't want to tell us which clubs they were. It's not their they would not come up with this information, but we found out later on, and we found out how it came and which club wanted to bring us down. But that's did not
Just to clarify there, Wal, just for everybody and ourselves. So the player in question that registered for you registered online with Play Football, but had already had another registration for this year under a different name. Is that correct?
He had his middle name attached to his surname. So the system does not find similarities at all. The system itself, it needs an update or needs a different coding system. I mean, this is something we're going to bring after the season. I've already spoken to many clubs. A lot of clubs have found the same problem. I know clubs have called me from lower division saying, Wally, we've got similar issue we just found out. What do you think? I said, well, don't say anything. After at the end of the season, report it. I mean, these clubs are not, whether they're going to get promoted or demoted, it's not going to affect them if they lose that game or that game. But it's actually, this is affecting clubs who are volunteers. They put a lot of time to registering players, and we finding it that there's no everything comes as a rule. Okay, it's a club's responsibility. I mean, you have not given me a tool to find out if this player has provided me the right information himself. There's nothing.
And I think that's the crux of the problem. Sorry, Craig, to interrupt. That's the crux of the problem. The clubs are doing an honest. What's the word? They're being honest about it. They're not. It's not that like they're being dishonest. And to the best of your ability, you're going about registering or going through the procedure as it should be. So you haven't done anything wrong. The system obviously is flawed.
But the problem is, the problem is there, Tonci, and I know because it's happened when we actually used to play against Wally and his Upfield side a few years ago. There was a particular side that had one player who was registered 3 or 4 times. Same player registered 3 or 4 times with different name, a different initial, whatever that might be, and it's a real problem. But the biggest problem I see is that players can register themselves. Now, if you took that away from the player and put it, unfortunately, again, it's more work on clubs, but if you put it on an admin person of the club to register those players, this wouldn't happen. You've got an issue where a player can go, I can go online now if I want and register myself 3 times under 3 different names. Am I correct, Wally?
Yes. So if you've got multiple emails, I can put my name, put in WALID HANNA with my date of birth, use that email, create an account, or give me a different FFA number, and then go again with a different email, put my name, and then create exactly the same account, WALID HANNA. You can create 5, 6 accounts of the same name, and the system will not pick it up, or just create an account. So you'll have 10 FFA numbers if you have to. Yeah. But what you have to do is call them up and say, look, I've created multiple, link me up to the original one that was registered whenever you played first. They can do that. But coming up to, a player that comes from everywhere, I mean, the player we knew, he played at this club previously, but he said he'd not play this year, and he wasn't on good terms with this club, so he came and signed with us, and he registered. I had his FFL. I'll make photocopy of license or passports or anything to keep with the club. So to provide that, he registered the right way. The problem is this system, playfootball.com.au, does not find similarities. We had a better system. It used to be called Sports Vault about 6 years ago. They took that away from us. You would put in the surname or first name with the date of birth. It will bring up the player if he's active, registered anywhere, or his previous. But you could not go further till this player provides you an email and a password that he originally had. And yes, it was. I think they took it off because we used to call FFV all the time, said, look, give us that password or that number that generates by pushing the email. And that was a lot of work for them. So that's why they've gone and adopted that Play Football.
Yeah, definitely. Now, Waleed, how much of a distraction has it been to the senior players and the coach there at Upfield? Your last match, a bit of an upset loss against Epping City. Has the players felt the pressure as a result of this situation and the uncertainty that the club's been put under?
We were told about the verdict of 6 points deduction. It was at their discretion. I mean, we've spoken to our lawyer. We've said what's happening. The lawyer said, look, maybe nothing or maybe 3 points maximum. The FFV had to get their own lawyer involved, so they were not speaking to me. They could not disclose any information. We were told about the verdict on Friday night, a day before the Epping game, but we had to keep it quiet. I've told FFV not to change the letter because that will have an impact on the players, on the club members and the sponsors. So we had to keep it quietly. We didn't tell the players. And then on Saturday, we went away and we played against Epping. There was a lot of controversial calls from the referee at that game. We lost the game 2-0 due to the controversial calls that we had. That was during that game. We had 2 red cards. So that week after the Epping game, we were thinking just about Westgate. We didn't have our best striker. We didn't have our best defenders in there. Our keeper was injured. But we actually believe in the team. We've been the best team out there, I think, in this league. I mean, a lot of guys have said that. Us and Westgate have been the best team in the league so far. And we said, look, guys, this is do or die for us. We're going to go out there on Friday, play that catch-up game and go back and win. And the players said, they put their hand up. They said, look, we've been playing for the shirt the whole season. This is the time that we can actually show our members and club followers that we are there for the club. And we're going to play whether with 10 men, we're going to be 11 soldiers out there. And we need big crowd coming. So we had to invite most of the club members, a lot of the teams. And we brought a lot of spectators to the Westgate game. Unfortunately, look, Westgate actually really, really good side. They're the only side that took points off us at home. We have not lost at home at Gibb Reserve for the last 2 years. And they came to our club 4 weeks ago, and they beat us 3-0. So we were stressing about it. We didn't have the best of the squad, but the guys that came off the bench did actually play just as good as the one that were off. And we were out there. We deserved the win. We should have been winning more than 2-1. We should have been 2-3-0 before we conceded the goal. And I really want to thank over this channel the crowd, the number 12 support, the player. That's how I call it. They actually came all the way. The women's team, the under 18, the under 21, the reserves, the club members, they all came and supported the team. And we were celebrating after. And then we said, okay, 2 more finals to go against Hoppers and Lalo, and we need the same support, guys. But going back to the FFV situation with the registration, they definitely there's been talks with us about what can we do better with this system, and we're going to have to meet with them or write them a big email about how to go about improving the system, because I've seen it happen at NPL too. For 2 clubs in NPL, I think Brunswick City and Manningham lost points because of admin error. Why is this happening? Why is this happening? That actually wants me. I mean, every time I want to step out of the admin part, now I'll have to be attached to it. How can I hand it to a new volunteer and teach him this and hand him all this responsibility? Because this could stuff up club, destroy a club. And that's that week from Epping to Westgate, the 5 days, the whole committee, the club members, and they were all talking about how we're going to tackle the game against Westgate, how we're going to win and win that title deservedly, because we do deserve to be champion for State 2.
Well, Wally, we did see some footage there of the game that was played there on Friday night, and the crowd mobbing the players after the game for a well-deserved win. 2 big games coming up in the last 2 rounds. We've got Upfield hosting Hoppers Crossing this weekend, so a big game there at home. There at Gibb Reserve. I'm sure there's going to be a massive crowd on hand to support the boys there. And we're going to have to let you go. We've got Alan MUSCAT coming on shortly as well as Mark Torcaso. But in the meantime, we wish you all the very best, and we may even touch base with you in a few weeks' time to see how it's all developed on and off the park.
Thank you, guys. Thanks for hosting us.
Good
Well,
on
man,
you, Walid.
Thanks,
Next couple of weeks,
Walid.
boys.
All the best.
Thank you.
Yep. Walid HANNA, the president of Upfield. It is something that has happened on several occasions now with several different clubs. He did mention NPL 2 clubs getting points taken off them as well. So, yeah, definitely something needs to be done.
It happened with my club when I was a few years back to Tonci. It is an admin error. It's unfortunately it's a problem on the system rather than the clubs. But again, I think if you took the onus off the players, and then put it back into the club, then it's the club's responsibility. But also, Football Federation have to take some responsibility as well because the system's not correct.
Absolutely. Guys, we're going to take a very, very short break. Speaking of State League 2, one club that is going to make it and that has made it into State League 2 for next season is Altona North, and we'll be talking to a man who, as Craig says, we've been trying to get on the show for a while now, and we can't wait to talk to this man. Alan Muscat will be joining us shortly after the break. Folks, don't go away. It is episode 99 of the Football Out West Show.
Looking for a space for your next function? At George's on Vista, our function room caters for all types of functions. Milestone birthdays, special religious occasions, work functions, hens or bachelor nights, baby showers, or whatever reason you decide is a good idea to get together with family and friends. Contact our friendly staff who will help you put together a menu that will suit your special occasion. Inquiries can be made via our website, georgesonvista.com.au. George's on Vista, in the heart of Fraser Rise. You'll find us at Caroline Springs, George Cross.
Welcome back to the Football Out West Show. We've lost Craig, Steve, but one of the things that has been really, really exciting over the last few weeks is we've been able to delve into some of the lower lower leagues, if you like, or divisions of the State League competition, and getting to know a few clubs, getting to know some of the clubs that are, what makes this this state competition, State League competition, so riveting. Craig's back. One of the guys that we've got on now is next. Tell us about our next guest.
Ooh.
Yeah, well, from Altona North, we've got Alan Muscat, and his side has done very well this season. And their win yesterday has secured promotion for them from State League 3 Northwest. So I think it's time to say congratulations and celebrations. Good evening, Alan Muscat. How you going?
Yeah, good evening, gents. How are you guys?
Oh, no, not again. Very good. How are you, Muskie? How's the head?
A bit sore, mate, but yes, it was all well worth it last night, mate.
Yeah, well, there's the celebrations in the dressing room. Alan, thank you for joining us. But there we go. From State League News, and this is a very, very good Facebook page. They've made a post there. Congratulations to Altona North on their promotion to State League 2 Northwest. And you join the champions Westvale Olympic next year in State League 2. And we just spoke about State League 2 there with the president of Upfield Soccer Club. Altona North, they're in State 2 next year. It should be pretty exciting. You're looking forward to it.
Yeah, look, it's been a great year for the club from where we've come from State 4 from 3-4 years ago. Put a great team together and looking forward to next season. Well, for the club, and also it's a great thing for the football club, to be honest.
Yeah, no, just talking, you just said then, and congratulations again on another promotion. That's 2 in your tenure at the club. I think you took over probably 4 years ago now, perhaps, Al, was it?
That's right.
Yeah, 4 years ago. Yeah. So, what's been the difference at the club in that time, Al? Obviously, they've been in those lower echelons of the leagues for a number of years, but 2 promotions in the space of 3 years. What have you done differently at the club?
Yeah, look, I think before I started there, Craig, the club was run by Vince was the head coach there, and look, he had the club on the right path, and I've came in there and just tweaked a few little things and added some professionalism to the club, and I think that and the backroom staff as well helped a lot with the committee, and we started a journey and a project where and everybody was on the same page. I thought it's a good club, and we've done exceptionally well. It's getting out of state for yourself, yourself, mate. It's a very hard league to get out of. So only one team getting promoted, and obviously getting a look at State 3 last year for the first time. Got a chance to dabble our toes with COVID and played half a year, and we went back to the drawing board at the end of the season last year, and once the season was called off, and to see what we had to do better, what we had to bring in, what we had to do better off the park, and as a collective, from the committee to the coaching staff, I think we got it. We got it really spot on, I think.
Now, you mentioned there just before the other guys. Sorry, Steve. You just mentioned there about last year having the opportunity to dabble your toes. Did COVID help you there in terms of it allowed you to have a look at what you've got and where you need to be in readiness for this year?
Yeah, look, I think I thought we started off with I thought we had a strong team last year. Obviously, not knowing the league and not knowing the clubs that are in the league gave us an opportunity to play everybody one game each. Come around 11, I think we hadn't played Upfield or Ballarat, and then the season got called off. Look, we made some signings in that little window. We thought we would have gave ourselves a good opportunity to push for promotion last year in the back of this season. As I said, season got called off, so it was a good opportunity for us to, as I said, probably good or bad, however you want to call it. Gave us a good opportunity to walk away from there and really reassess where we are as a football club and what we needed to improve on and off the park to, give us the success that we got this year.
And Alan, was there a particular game during the season or a particular moment where you thought, you know what, I can see we've put in the body of work and it's coming off for us and we're going to achieve something special and gain promotion this year?
Yeah, good comment, Steve. Look, there's a few games. Look, I think if I'm being brutally honest, I don't think we have played the best football all season. To be brutally honest, I mean we're grinding out results, and look, to be fair, Westvale have been the pick of the year, their club. Been undefeated all year, and hats off to Billy and his club for gaining promotion as well. They set a benchmark, but I think probably, I don't know, we played Williamstown and we drew at their ground, I think, around first round, and we walked away from there and really reassessed where we wanted to be. We sat down with the club and as a club and coaching staff and said, what do we need to do? What do we need to bring in? Where do we have to improve? And look, I think the club, like I said, hats off to the football club. And, they backed us in. They gave us all the resources to, bring in players and strengthen the squad where we needed to. And it's, just rewards for everybody.
Speaking of strengthening the squad, Alan, so you've been there, done that. You've gained promotion from State 4 to State 3, so you know what it takes not only to be competitive but to earn promotion in the higher league. The step up to State 2 now, that's another big step, another gigantic step. Does planning start pretty much immediately for next season, or are you going to have a little bit of a break and maybe take some time off and then start planning? What are the ambitions for the club going forward?
Take time off, Tonci. Laugh. Coaches don't take time off, mate.
There's the bloke who goes to the Gold Coast every 2 weeks.
Yeah, exactly. Yes. Thank you, Steve. Great call.
Yeah, look, Tonci. Look, like I said, mate. Look, to be honest, mate. I really want to. I'm so grateful that we got to achieve promotion last night against Heidelberg, and gives the club next 2 weeks to really enjoy and absorb all the festivities that come with it and enjoy it. And for myself, and I think I just want to really, take it all in and really enjoy the moment with the football club and the playing group, and start doing some thinking and where the club wants to be next season and where we all want to be next year, and let's reassess myself and what I want to do next season and everything. Like I said, it's as Craig would know, it's a hard job. It's and a lot of commitment and a lot of sacrifices and obviously family time and a lot of things that come into it. And it takes a lot of effort and, like I said, a lot of stress sort of came off my shoulders last night, to be fair, mate, after the result. And so now it's a bit of time to enjoy it, and really enjoy these next 2 weeks, to be honest, mate. So haven't really thought about after next 2 weeks, to be honest, and we'll just sit down and have a chat after the season, to be honest.
Well, we spoke yesterday morning. We spoke yesterday morning, didn't we, for 15 minutes, and I could sense that there was, you were just glad to be out there away from everything with your little one playing football. Actually, up at George's, wasn't it, where we had a chat yesterday morning? But just going back to Dwayne Reserve down there, and obviously the pitch and the club rooms and everything. Have Hobson's Bay Council agreed to do anything with the facilities down there? Because obviously it does need a little bit of an upgrade. Is that something that's on the plans for the club?
Yeah, look, that part of the that part I haven't really divulged much into, to be honest, Craig. The club, obviously with this year with the club's spoken Hobson's Bay, and you've had a couple little things happen to the club in terms of upgrades and so forth. But in terms of the facility itself and the ground, that's work in progress with the council. As you know, it's always a battle with the council, being just a one ground facility with no cricket and no football, so it's always hard to get some upgrades to the football park. But look, I said, look, the ground is the ground at the moment. We know what the ground's about. Unfortunately, it's not in the best condition, but yeah, at the moment we'll get through our next home game. Hopefully, Sunbury. Like I said, we've had to play our last 2 home games away in source other venues just to play those games. So that was a headache and stressful for the club as well. And the club, obviously losing finances and stuff doing that as well to go play at other grounds just to get games played. So look, it's something that you don't really want to do. But look, as a football club, we just, we took that on the chin and done that.
Yeah, definitely. And just one more as well. You've scored the most goals in the league this season. You've got the second and third highest scorers in the comp as well with Petrevski and Stadnicki. Is there something special you're doing at training to have the players finding the back of the net so much on the weekend?
Yeah, I think it must be our fine system. Every time you kick the ball over the fence, you get fined. So I think that might take
that's a good system.
That might take it into consideration, I think, mate, to be honest.
Craig, any last questions?
No, I just want to congratulate everybody. It's a great little football club. We had many duels down there in my time in the lower leagues, and actually won the championship down at Altona North on the final day.
Oh, you had to mention this.
I did, yeah. But
it's
a great little club. There's some great people around as there is in all football clubs, and I just wish you all the best for next season, mate. You're a champion bloke, and it's a great club, and it's great to see that you got promoted. But
yeah, thanks a lot. Thanks for having me on, and really appreciate your time. And look, all the best of the show. Great show. Always tuned to listen to you guys, and wish you all the best as well, guys.
Thanks, Alan.
Alan.
Thanks,
Thank
Alan.
you very
Congrats.
much. That's Alan Muscat, and yet another Maltese-backed club doing really, really well. Altona North, following the footsteps of bigger brother Caroline Springs, George Cross, both earning promotion. Guys, we're going to take a very, very short break. When we return, it's our final guest for tonight, Craig, and who may that be?
I have forgotten who. Oh, right. It's yes. Look, I was writing
Put
down
you on the spot there.
Had some note. You did. Yes, it's great to have Mark Torcaso from the Western United newly formed women's A-League team, or women's A-League, isn't it?
A-League women's, yes.
A-League women's, yes. So,
yes, that's what it's called.
And obviously been involved at Calder United for many, many years, and they've come off a fantastic win in the Night Cup this afternoon. So, it's a pleasure to welcome Mark Torcaso to the show.
Yeah, we'll be talking to him, and we'll be also looking at the Nike FC Cup that was played earlier today, straight after break. Folks, don't go away. We're into the home straight of episode 99. Thank you for being with us so far, and there's still a lot more to come. Don't go away.
Guzman Finance, Point Cook's professional and trusted mortgage broker. Using the latest technology powered by Australian Finance Group, their lender panel has over 30 institutions, including the major banks. Whether you're in the market for your first home, refinancing, renovating, or buying an investment property, contact Andreas on 0425 826 055 or visit their website at guzmanfinance.smartonline.com.au. Where will you find authentic Maltese cuisine? At Georgie's on Vista, in the heart of Fraser Rise. We have a menu to suit everyone, which includes kids and seniors meals, and a cocktail list that will need you to come back several times to get through. Our specialty nights are a big hit. Tuesday is $20 Palmer night with a selection of Palmers to choose from. Kids eat free Wednesday night. With every paid adult meal, you get one free kids meal. Thursday is Maltese night. Check out the Maltese specials on our specials board. And Friday night we have happy hour between 5:30 to 6:30 p.m. Be sure to book your table to avoid disappointment. Bookings can be made via our website, georgiesonvista.com.au. See you at Georgie's on Vista. You'll find us at Caroline Springs, George Cross.
Yes, that's right. Georgie's on Vista. That is going to be the venue for next week's Extravaganza, the 100th episode of the Football Out West show next Sunday night from 7 p.m. till 9 p.m. It is going to be a 2-hour bonanza, and we have got some huge guests lined up, some of the biggest in the state. Let me tell you this, and we are itching to tell you all about it, but we'll keep that suspense over the next few days going as we announce those guests each day of this week. But it's now time to bring our next guest, our final guest on for tonight, and he is the coach of Calder United, the victorious Calder United, who defeated South Melbourne 3-0 in the NICK FC Cup just hours earlier, and he's also the coach of the inaugural Western United A-League women's side, Mark Torcaso. It's an absolute pleasure to bring you onto the show, Mark. Good evening, and how are you? What are you doing, playing Murder in the Dark? Oh, no, we've got a problem with his audio as well. Oh, no, it's just what is going on? Mark, you might have to change something in the settings there, unfortunately. It seems to be a recurring problem. We just don't know what it is, but we'll have to have that. Unfortunately, it's not from our end viewers, so it's not something that we can really make any judgment error changes or anything like that. But anyway, let's go through the NICK FC Cup. Craig, take us through the game that was played earlier today.
Yeah, the game was played up there at Hugh.
The game was played.
What's going on there?
I think we might have not Mark there.
Yeah, can you hear me all right?
Yeah, we can hear you now, Mark. That's good. We can hear myself. How are you, mate?
I'm good.
We've got some feedback. Yeah, unfortunately, we've got some feedback. We're just not winning tonight, are we? There's fair income.
It's very unlucky, I think. Very unlucky at the moment.
And now we've lost Craig. Oh, no. What is going on?
After last Monday night's show, Tonci, I don't know how the Croatian football show went during the week, but the Auscro show. But tell you what, we had a bit of misfortune last Monday night, and we feel like it's continued a little bit tonight. So let's see if we can get. I think Craig's left, so he can fiddle around in the background. He's just going to plug in some cables and pull a few cords, and he's actually got a tin can phone system that he's actually adjusting at the moment. We're going to get Mark to speak to us now, but there is the goal. That's the second goal, and that was Alana Cern, I think, shooting from distance. I think it might have come off the veteran Alexander Sinclair, perhaps. I think that second goal. And then this is the third goal of the afternoon, which came in the second half, which sealed it. There we go, winning the penalty kick there. And it was five titles in a row in the Nike FC Cup for Calder United. So that is a juggernaut in the cup competition, that's for sure. They are going to take some beating. But let's see how we're going with our connection with Mark Torcaso, their coach, and see if we've got him on the line now. Have we? Craig's thumbs up.
How are we going, buddy? Have we got Mark on the line?
We certainly have. Mark, can you hear us?
I can hear you guys. Can you hear me all right?
Yeah,
we
perfect.
can. At least we can't see you, but we can definitely hear you. We saw you very, very fleetingly there. But Mark, thank you for joining us on the show. We looked at the some of the highlights there of the goals scored there. As Steve mentioned, 5 years in a row, or 5 Nike FC Cups in a row. Mate, you've really, really started a dynasty there at Calder United, haven't you?
Oh, you can't just say me, mate. There's a lot of people that go into it. So, it's been a pretty good run, to be quite honest. So, obviously there's a lot of people that put in the effort, but it was good. It was a tough one today, to be honest. So, we'll take the 5th one, mate. No problem.
And the scoreline 3-0 sounds easy. You think it was a little bit tougher than that, and South did give you a good run for your money?
Yeah, it is. It's just because the girls are used to playing on fields that are a little bit smaller than Hume, and Hume's quite a big pitch. So they sort of spent themselves in the first 25, 30 minutes, and you could see the game sort of slowed down a bit. But our girls sort of just continued on because we had played there 2 weeks before in the Nike FC Cup semi-final. So we sort of adjusted, knowing that it was going to be pretty difficult. But it was good to get it locked away, mate, in the end.
And what's the plans now for those girls? Now they've played in the Nike Cup. How many games left do you have in the season? And is it now the yourself and Heidelberg, I suppose, is it at the top there for that exclusive NPL title?
Yeah, so there's 3 league games left. We've got 4 because we've got a game in hand. So we're I think we're 2 points clear at top. So it's just getting this one out of the way today was important. Now we'll just focus on the next couple of weeks. I think 3 wins hopefully should do it for us, which would be fantastic to sort of get the premiers played again if we couldn't do that this year. So yeah, we'll just focus on that for the next few weeks.
Well, there's the ladder, and you can see, correct, you are 2 points ahead of Heidelberg United in second spot with a game in hand against Box Hill United, who are in third last spot. This week, Bayside United, the bottom side, who has only managed 1 win and 2 draws from their 18 games this year, they host Calder United at Kingston Heath Soccer Complex. That's on next Saturday. So, look, some winnable games coming up, but you can't obviously rest on your laurels. But let's talk further afield, Mark. You've been appointed the head coach of the inaugural Western United Women's A-League Women's side. There's been some recruits and some appointments during the week. You had Alana Cherdner from Calder United sign up during the week. In a very, very interesting way, she was it was like a press conference, and she rang her mum up during the week, and it made for a very entertaining viewing, that's for sure. It was great to see a real innovative way of announcing a new recruit.
Yeah, and I think it was the person, we wanted to get the person right of who we announced as our first one, and Alana Cern is someone that's worked extremely hard for so many years. She's only quite young still. She's only 19. Someone that's always just missed out on these type of opportunities, but has deserved it in the years gone by. So with her being, a Western Suburbs, Northwestern Suburbs girl, and someone who hadn't had opportunities in the past, we found it quite fitting to make her as our inaugural, I guess, player announced. So it was a fantastic. I think it was a great setup the way the guys did it. And obviously she was pretty emotional because it was her first official contract. So I've got pretty big raps on that kid. I think she's going to be a great player for us.
Yeah, and as Tonci said then, there was a phone call to mum to tell her that she told her she was going for some kind of sponsorship deal, but ended up phoning her and telling her that she signed a contract at the club, which is fantastic. And just watching the video here in the background here, and it's her face says everything of how happy she is to have signed that contract. So what's the plans obviously now in readiness for next season for you, Mark?
I think we're just starting to put together the playing group, and obviously with Calder's connection with Western United, there'll be some players that will come and transition from that into the A-League, which is great because Western's obviously ambitions was to have a group of players that have sort of been connected with a coach through a whole sort of stage, and it sort of works that I'm able to coach these girls now at Calder. And then just adding in a couple of internationals and things like that over the next few weeks, and then hopefully we're ready to go. So yeah, it's shaping up pretty well. Obviously the backroom staff's pretty much been appointed, and as I said, we're just going through the final couple of contracts for some players, and hopefully we're ready to go.
Yeah, Mark, you mentioned the backroom staff, the assistant coach, Helen Winterburn, and you've also picked up the football manager, Amanda Stella there. How excited are you to work with those two? And perhaps will there be any others added to that list as well?
Yeah, so fantastic. Amanda's putting her heart and soul into the Calder and Western connection, to make the whole football opportunity work for girls. So it's great to be able to work with Amanda. I'm lucky enough to work with her at Calder as well. So we work well together. Helen Winterburn's appointment is a fantastic appointment. Obviously, just making sure that we've got a connection with elite pathway players, and having her on board. She's the emerging Matildas coach, so having her involved is very important for our club. Obviously, being an A-League women's team, we want to involve as many females as possible, and give them as much opportunity in the game as well.
Fantastic. Craig?
Yeah, I was just going to say, underneath, obviously the Calder and the A-League Women's, is there plans at the club to have more of those academies in the younger age groups as well, Mark? Is that the foresight of the club?
Yeah, I think the initial thing was just to get a senior women's academy squad going. So we had that going on for the last year, which was great.
Yeah.
Now we'll aim to sort of bring in some younger age groups, just bringing them in potentially once a week in a West United setting, and feeling that environment of what it's like to be a pro. We want to try and go as young as sort of 12 up. Obviously, that's a critical age to start looking at plays and stuff. So that's the aim. But I guess the really good thing is the connection with Calder United is fantastic for Western to have, because they don't have to go out and create their own pathway when effectively they've got one ready to go there with Calder. So it kind of works. It works. It's working at the moment. So until it doesn't, we'll keep going, I guess.
And in terms of training and facilities, will the women train alongside the men there up at the hangar?
I think there is a little bit of interest to do that as well. I might get to see your face a fair bit down George, we'll see. But who knows? There is a couple of things that are going on at the moment, just trying to work out how it looks. But the important thing for me is to make sure that the girls get every opportunity to feel what a professional environment is like. And if it's the same to replicate what the boys are doing, then great. If it's not, we find another way, then we find another way. But yeah, just putting all those final things in place right now.
Yeah, very exciting.
And taking a step. Go, Mark. Go on, Steve. Sorry. Go on, Steve.
Mark, just on how Calder will operate, it's going to be a different look. They're moving forward without you as their head coach. How will they look going forward? Will they sort of continue as the entity that they have been over the last few years after you move off to the A-League women's side and that this side is born?
Have you fired me already, Steve? Yeah, I don't know. No, I don't know how that will look. I've expressed that I would like to still be involved to some extent with Calder. I don't know if it'll be as a head coach or a co-coach or I guess a football director or something like that. But I feel it's really important to still have the connection with Calder United, just to sort of continue the pathway that Calder and Western have got.
Well, I suppose that's your baby as well, Mark, isn't it? Because obviously you've been there a long time now, and you've seen the transition from where they were to where they are now. So letting go of that will be difficult, I would imagine.
Yeah, it will be. I mean, but like I'm also interested to make sure that we do. If I've got to move forward and can only have a limited capacity, someone else can have a turn and build something and get the experience that I got and one day maybe coach an A-League side as well. So. It's been a really good journey at Calder. 2016 when we formed, I was a first employed coach, so been there ever since, and it's been a really, really good journey. So I'd like to hope that I can still stay in there. So whoever said that I might not be, was that you, Steve, that said that? I think
just
you tried me. So
Now, Mark,
trying to read between the lines, yeah.
Yeah. Now, Mark, speaking of exciting times over the next 12 months, let's talk expansion for the NPLW competition. There's the ladder on screen of the Victorian Premier League Women's, and as it stands at the moment, Preston Lions, Boroondara Eagles, Southern United and Casey Comets, although Melbourne University and even to an extent South Yarra has an opportunity to get promoted. But 4 of those teams will be joining the 8 current teams in the NPLW competition to create a 12-team league next year. More games, more teams, that surely could be an exciting time. But is there enough talent? We've spoken to Dan Foden from Preston Lions and definitely Boroondara Carey Eagles. But is there enough talent to sort of support such a big jump from 8 to 12 teams in the elite women's division competition?
Yeah, listen, that's a tricky one because I've been part of the old WPL and now the new NPLW. So that's a tough question because it is sort of touchy. I think there is a lot of girls that sort of fall out of the game after the age of sort of 25, 26. So an expansion, obviously Preston and Boroondara, they'll have their stuff organised pretty well, so that'd be great. I'm not sure how the 3rd or 4th team would look and if they're going to be ready to go or not, but there is definitely a dilution in the female game because they sort of some of them sort of move away from the game at sort of that age of 24, 25 and that. But, you hope that taking a gamble with putting 4 teams up is going to work, and might increase participation in regards to girls, playing in the lower levels that might want to come up and play in the NPL.
Yeah.
You hope. With what I think, I don't know if it's the right move, to be honest. I think only the 2 teams up should be the way we should be going at the moment, just because of that exact reason. There's just not enough players. And then as the A-League women's competition becomes more professional and probably gets extended more next year, you're going to have less players coming back from A-League playing as well. So it's only going to make it worse. So, that one's a tricky one, mate. I'm not sure how that will look.
Now, obviously, for the expansion of girls' football and women's football in the country, how important is next year's World Cup for, the next generation of youngsters coming through? Might not happen, straight away, but, the next, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 years, how important is that World Cup next year for Australian women's football?
Yeah, it's important for women's football. I think it's just important for football in general. So I think a World Cup year is going to, put us on the map in regards to people will take us a little more seriously. Obviously, the Matildas are a successful brand. It might increase the quality of A-League players that might want to come from other countries. But yeah, it's going to be great. Like you can already see there's a buzz. There's more players wanting to play at the lower level. That's why I think what we were saying before about the NPLW is just probably not ready yet for another couple of years until maybe after this World Cup, where you get an increase of girls playing at sort of the younger grade groups, and then over the next few years you can probably expand on that after. That's going to be the tricky one there.
That's a good, really, really good point. Yeah, Steve.
Yeah, Mark, just one last one for me, because I guess we are running a little bit over time, and thanks again for joining us after the big win today. But can you give us any teasers after Ilana Cern joined last week? Could there be another signing perhaps during the week this week coming?
I think there'll be a couple over the next few days. I don't want to spoil the advertisement of it. There'll be a couple of internationals that will be announced this week. So we wanted to be very stringent and tight on what we looked at as an international player. So we're able to have 4 internationals. So we feel that we've secured 4 of the best that are going to dominate this league. So I reckon maybe in the next 24 to 48 hours you'll see one of our first internationals that will be announced. That he's very good. She's an American, and that's all I'll give you.
That's very generous, Mark. Thank you.
Well, on that note, Mark, thank you very much. We look forward to a rather exciting week ahead, and thank you for joining us on our episode 99 of the Football Out West Show. It's going to be a huge 100th episode next week, and I'm sure there's going to be a fairly strong Western United flavour as well. So, mate, thank you very much for joining us. Wishing you all the best in your role as Western United women's head coach, and also with your future endeavours as far as the Calder United Football Club is concerned.
Brilliant. Thanks a lot, guys. You're doing a great job, mate. You guys are spot on with what you're doing, so thanks a lot for that. Thanks for having me on.
Thanks, Mark, and all the best to you.
Mate,
thanks,
talking
Mark.
like that, you can come
all
on the show anytime you want, mate. Oh, no, you're more than welcome.
Anytime, guys. Anytime. Let me know.
Thanks, Mark. Cheers, bud.
Perfect.
Good
Thank
on you.
you.
That was Mark Torcaso, the very enthusiastic, very ambitious, and a very nice guy in general as well.
He's done a great job. He's done a fantastic job.
He?
If you think 19, he said that, or 16 rather, was Calder formed.
Yeah,
and
2015 was it? Yeah.
They're a real powerhouse, yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, real powerhouse of women's football. Gents, that brings us to the end of yet another riveting show. To everyone that's tuned in tonight, thank you so much. And to those that have tuned in from start to finish, it's almost been a 2-hour show tonight, but there's just so much happening at the moment. And it is great. It is great to have Victorian football so entertaining as it is now. What are we going to do in 3 weeks' time, 4 weeks' time when the season finishes? I'm dreading that already. But
holiday, maybe holidays.
Yeah. What's that? Have downtime? What's that? Yeah,
I forgot.
Folks,
Forgot what holidays are.
Absolutely, yeah. On that note, have a very good week, all of you, and we look forward to having your company next week. And stay tuned throughout the week, not just for some announcements about Western United A-League women's players, but also what awaits us this week with our 100th episode. We look forward to having a big party next week. 2-hour show live from Georgie's on Vista Bistro, home of the Caroline Springs George Cross Football Club. And it is going to be a massive show. Craig, Steve, and myself will be providing all sorts of little tantalising tidbits of announcements throughout the week. Good night.
Good night.